Hello, this is a movie review for the movie Zootopia, directed by Brian P. Howard and Rich Moore. It stars Jason Bateman, Jennifer Goodwin, and a host of other people that you would know from TV and movies. It's also scored by Michael Giacchino, one of my favorite movie composers at the moment. I found that out the day I saw the movie, and I was so excited. I ramped up my enthusiasm for watching the movie tenfold. So I'm really into the movie composers, and he's like in my top three at the moment. That includes John Williams, Danny Elfman, and him. The plot concerns a bunny named Judy who is trying to get a job on the police force of the city of Zootopia. This would be the first time a bunny rabbit would ever join the police force. I saw her role as sort of a metaphor for women in the workplace, woman's role in society in general. That's the way I took it anyway. She runs into Nick, who is this sort of smarmy, sly as a fox, who sort of runs a scam with a partner he has in crime. That's a small little fennec fox. Without giving too much away, Judy runs into Nick and his partner in crime, and she sort of blackmails him into helping her on her first case. She's first put on like a meter maid detail by the chief of police. She's a bunny rabbit. She's very tiny and small, so they don't think too much about her. So they don't give her like a important case or anything like that. She really wanted to be put on one, but she's giving out tickets. So she does the best that she can do in that situation. She really excels at ticketing, cars or whatever. And then she runs into Nick, and who might have information on this case. So she blackmails him with a little clever little recording carrot pen that she has. That was clever, kind of cute. But I was just really floored by the metaphor of this plot of this movie. Sort of a big social commentary on racism. They talk about drugs as well. I saw Nick as a sort of a metaphor for the way black people are treated in society. At least that's how I took it. You could also say that it was a metaphor for gay people or Latinos or any other racial group. But I thought it made a pretty good case for being specifically a metaphor for black people in American society. I'm really curious as to how other societies would look at this story. I think specific Western countries like America or the UK would understand this message better, or it would come across better in those countries than it would in, say, China or Japan or Korea or Iraq or something like that. So I'm curious to see how they would receive this movie. There's like race-specific jokes in this movie. One joke had Nick touching the wool of a little sheep. She was like assistant to the mayor of Zootopia. She was like a little sheep, and she had this great big wool hair. And Dick, without asking, just starts touching it. And it's like, oh wow, it's so fluffy, it's so nice. And I know that's a specific joke. I don't have any hair, obviously. But I have other black friends who have some have afros, some have big hair, some have lots of curly hair. And they always give me stories, or I always hear stories about how people just walk up to them, not black people, who just walk up to them and just start touching their hair without solicitation, without asking. It's kind of weird, right? And so he does this, and Judy's like, you can't do that, stop doing that, or whatever. And it's a really funny joke within the movie. And I was surprised that joke was put into that movie. And they must have talked to some black people about that, because that is a very black specific problem. I've seen like blog posts about this problem. There was even a Breaking Bad reference in the movie. That I did not expect, and that caught me off guard. And I can't believe they would sneak that into a Disney movie. But I guess I can understand nowadays. It's not that surprising, but that was really appreciated because I really loved that show. It happens around the time when they sort of find that subway car, and those Rams are sort of making, I won't give it away, but it's sort of a drug that turns all these predators savage again. I guess they just gave it away. But yeah, watch out for it. It's really subtle, and it's sort of mentioned once. I haven't read too much about it, so I'm not sure how many people picked up on it, but I'm sure eventually, maybe this week or next week, someday soon, that you'll start seeing blog posts about this one joke. It was really funny to me. Judy the Rabbit was portrayed by Jennifer Goodwin, and Nick the Sly Fox was played by Jason Bateman. I remember Jason Bateman from when he starred on a show in the 80s called The Hogan Family. I should tell you how old I am. So I've been a fan of his for a while, especially since Arrested Development. That's when I became a true Jason Bateman fan. He's a really good actor, very funny guy. His voice is very recognizable. He's very likable. Jennifer Goodwin, I don't know too much about her. I think she has some really spotty views on science that I have issues with. But her role in this movie, she did a great job in this movie. Idris Elba played the sort of rough and gruff police chief, stereotypical hard ass. So he did great in that role. Alan Tudyk played a weasel. He's great in anything that he does, from Firefly to all of his very many. He was also in Wreck-It Ralph. Tommy Tiny Lister. That's right, Debo from Friday. I'm guessing that's something that you guys didn't even know. Unless, of course, you used Google like I did and like anybody else can. He played the Fennec Fox, the partner of Nick's in the movie, who the really cute little fox who wore the elephant costume, which is like the most, like I really want that costume now. I would wear that around town. Octavia Spencer was in this movie as sort of a wife of an otter who was also an otter herself. But that was surprising. I didn't recognize her voice from watching this movie. That was good. She did good in the limited role she had. J.K. Simmons. When I was watching this movie, I was watching The Lion Mayor and listening to him, and I thought, he sounds like J.K. Simmons. And then I watched the credits, and it was J.K. Simmons. So that was not too surprising, but he did great in that role. Very fun. Jenny Slate plays the assistant to the mayor, and she did a great job in this role. It's very funny. She plays, actually, it's a more important character than you would think. I'm not going to spoil it past that, but look forward to that. This movie was directed by Brian P. Howard and Rich Moore. Howard, I think, co-directed Tangled. I enjoyed Tangled. I liked it a lot. And Rich Moore did Wreck-It Ralph, which I really liked. So I liked both of their movies. So it's not hard to understand how this movie was directed so well. I think it was very smart script, written very well. The jokes, everything, I believe, landed. Maybe a couple of jokes here and there. I think the audience didn't get it. I felt like the audience I saw it with were kind of young, I think. So I felt like a lot of the jokes were just over their heads. I got them all, I think. I caught them all. All the jokes that were missed by the rest of the audience, I grabbed out of the air, and I understood them. That makes me feel great. The score for this movie was really good as well. Michael Giacchino is probably the most hardworking composer in Hollywood today. Sort of him, Danny Elfman, Brian Taylor. I'm not really into Brian Taylor's scores, actually, but he's getting a lot of work thanks to Disney and Marvel. Alexander Desplat. I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce his name. But anyway, that guy, Desplat, is getting a lot of work. But Giacchino scored like 4 of the biggest movies of 2015. 3 of which weren't received very well by the public or the critics. Jurassic World, Jupiter Rising, which was not good, but that score for that movie was amazing. Crazy good. Tomorrowland, which I liked the movie. It was disappointing, ultimately, but the score was great for it. Oh, and Inside Out, he also did the score for. That was subtle, but very nice. Very cute. Very catchy. The music for this movie, I haven't had a chance to get deep into the score, but so far it's a very nice listen. The Sweet, there's like a Sweet, a Zootopia, Sweet for Zootopia, I believe the track is called. And it starts off really sweet. A sweet sounding sweet. It's very nice and very emotional, and I really like it a lot. I just can't believe how much work Giacomo is getting these days, and I hope it just continues because he's really a unique voice in movie scoring. I really believe that guy is the next John Williams. That's, he's been told that a lot. I've heard him say in interviews, but I really believe it. That sort of once John Williams, I hope this does not happen soon, but if he leaves our realm soon, then Giacomo will take his place at the top. That's just my opinion, but yeah, the music is really good. But very funny movie, well directed, well scored. I really enjoyed Zootopia, and I give it 10 out of 10 stars. I was really surprised by the message it was giving out, and I think it's a very important movie for small kids to like. I think kids should watch this movie when they're young. They won't get any of the jokes, but they should watch it when they're young, like it for the cuteness factor, and when they grow up, watch it again, and they'll get all the social commentary, all the metaphors, and all the jokes, and it should be one of those movies that becomes a favorite animated film of a small child now in later years. I think it's a really important film, personally. And it's brought to us by Disney. I'm glad they did that, and I'm very proud of Disney. Like, they need my endorsement to feel good about themselves, right? But it was very good, and I'm very surprised by this movie. It's very cute, well animated, music's great, direction's great, writing's great, jokes are great, and I give it a 10 out of 10. That's my scale for now. Thank you for watching. And I hope to be back someday soon to give you guys another review. Thank you.